Hello my crafty friends, it's Krista here from Second Chance Creation. Welcome to my channel, and I know it's been a while. I've been busy in the garden, I've been busy making journals, and yeah, it's just been a really busy life. Lockdown can be very busy, and for us anyway, because we love our home and we love our town, and we just don't get bored. There's just so much to do. So I wanted to share with you my strips of paper that I use. Everybody's got scraps, and I've posted a photo of what I've made, what the end result was, on Facebook group Junk Journal Junksters Down Under, which is an Aussie group. And so I thought I'd do a quick share. Everyone wanted to know how I did it, so the outcome of my 2 journal covers. So all right, so here is a coffee dyed piece of scrap, and look, it looks like eco dyeing, doesn't it? But it's not. It's just all the inks that have come through on that when I coffee dyed it after I put the strips on, which is not a good idea because I had to re-glue everything, but you live and learn. I did this last night. This is a piece of paper. I don't know where I got it, but it's really thin. After I coffee dyed it, it tore, and I thought, well, I won't chuck it because you can use anything. And I started putting some bits of scrap papers on there. Here is one of the strips. I just used some cardstock, which was a shiny pink, which I would never use, and I kept that white on the back. I didn't coffee dye it. And I've put all the strips on here of the papers that I've used, and I've already used a piece there. And here again, this is I think this was scrapbook paper, yes, and which I coffee dyed a whole heap of, and then I did a collage on here. This is, I think, it's come out of a children's book, okay, and I just collaged this, and I sometimes, well, I've already used a piece, and I think it's for a pocket. That's why I didn't back it with any other papers, but they come out really good. And what I wanted with this one was like a pink and blue, so I was a bit selective with my scraps at that point. This one, really enjoy this one because there's, you know, the edging of some from a paper pad here, and a little bit of corrugated cardboard, just bits and pieces. I think this was a strip of Tim Holtz paper pad. But when I saw this, I thought, oh, and this is backed on coffee dyed cardstock. This will make a cute little notebook cover, wouldn't it? I think so. So yeah, so I thought I'll keep that for that purpose. And I haven't sealed any of these yet. And here's another one, okay. And here's another one, another children's book page out of a children's book, yes. Another one, they're bigger pieces, okay. So what I'd done was, now where's my other piece? Oh, here it is. So what I've done was, how I made these 2 covers is I used just normal paper. I coffee dyed a whole heap of cardstock that I would never use the printed side of, but at least the back is coffee dyed, so I could use it as tags later on. And I collaged over the printed side of the cardstock that I didn't like. And so yeah, so book pages, dictionary paper, graph page from a embroidery book, ends of book pages, random bits of coffee dyed paper, dictionary paper, so anything went, okay. So I've made 2 pieces of A4, they're a size A4, and I did my strips like this. So the first piece I experimented with, I then just covered it. I used Mod Podge. I didn't have any PVA glue, so I used my big bottle of Mod Podge, and I lightly went over it to seal it, and then I placed paper, pattern paper over the top. Okay, it gives it a whole new dimension then. And then I dried it with my version of a heat gun, which is my hairdryer, and patted it down as I was drying the pattern paper. I didn't worry about creases. Creases are good. Okay, and once that was dry, I then used some stencils and stamps, and I used StazOn ink. Okay, really cool color, this one. And I also used this one. This one is a bit deceiving because I thought it was that color, but it's really, really dark. It's nearly black, which is okay. So I did some stenciling and stamping once this was dry. Then I used some of this to give it a bit of a different effect, a darker effect on places, and then I Mod Podged over the top. Okay, dried it with my dryer, and this is how it turned out. Okay, so all my strips are underneath, and it just happens to have a red strip underneath, and that's what inspired me to use this color. Okay, so once I dried my pattern piece, it was not Mod Podged at this time, was only Mod Podged underneath, and I dried my pattern piece. Okay, just like this. I then stenciled it and stamped it, and then I used my dark StazOn one and just randomly made some dark spots throughout. I then Mod Podged it, and I just use the matte Mod Podge over it. Dried it with my hair dryer, okay, so it doesn't stay wet for too long, and that's how it turned out. Okay, love it. And then on the inside of it, I just use another pattern piece randomly. I don't know where these colors, I think they were already on the cardstock from when I coffee dyed it. Anyway, so, and I just use that to pattern paper. Okay, didn't ink or anything, it's just coffee dyed underneath, and that's the inside of the cover. So with these covers, I won't be putting much on. I won't be covering them up, because once in Mod Podge you can't really glue anything on it. You stitch on it. I probably will stitch something on it, and you'll see the random stitches here, which is fine because it's going to be one of my grungy journals. But don't you just love this? And the texture is just lovely, and it does it does not feel sticky, and it might be because I really dried in between the layers too. So that's how that looks. So Bonnie, if you're watching, this is what I've been doing. And then the other one is this one. Oh, absolutely love it. So the process of this, same thing, used a sheet, okay, Mod Podged it, but this time a lot thicker. I used a thicker coat because I used this. This is a supposed to be like a cobweb thing. They sold it for Halloween, and I found this, and I thought, oh, that'll make a really, I can use that because cotton. I've used it in a couple of my projects. So when this was wet with Mod Podge, and you'll know why it had to be thick, I've put this over the top, okay, and then pressed it down. Yeah, I know, with my hand. I mean, look, they're all coffee dyed. They look absolutely shocking, so excuse the look of my hands, and of course my eczema and everything. So yeah, so I pressed it down, okay, as much as I could, and what didn't press down, I used more Mod Podge just to get it down, and used more Mod Podge on top. I then used my pattern paper while it was all wet, and again pressed it down because this was the dry side. I was able to really press it down, okay. And what didn't press down because of the air bubbles, I had to add more Mod Podge so I could press more down. Just use my brush, but without using too much Mod Podge over the top. I didn't want too much Mod Podge over the top yet. Pressed it down, And yeah, and I did, my first one was a total disaster because I didn't do this part, pressing it down, making sure there was not air bubbles in there, which is a bit hard because, you know, you've got this thread there. But anyway, so that's what I did. Okay, so once that was dry, I used my hairdryer and dried it. Once I was happy with there was no air bubbles in it, I dried it. Then what I did was I used this ink and lightly, very lightly, went over, oh, I used my other hand, went over those ridges so that because I wanted to see some of these ridges, okay, from that cotton fabric, only lightly, okay. You can see the pattern paper through here. You can't see much of the strips, maybe just a little bit here and a little bit there, okay. So the paper strips you can't see much of, which is okay, but you can see some of it, okay. But yeah, so very lightly. Then I dried it again with my hairdryer, and then I Mod Podged over it. And look at, oh, and you know, it does not feel sticky or anything. I know some people have got problems with it, but I don't have a problem with it. Maybe because I dry it straight away, I don't know. But yeah, so, and it's very pliable, okay. I did use cardstock, so it's not thick. Again, this won't be covered with a lot of stuff. It'll have just main focused here, and because I want this fabric to show, like the cover to show, I don't want to cover it all up. And because it's Mod Podged, I really can't glue anything on it, so it'll have to be stitched on, which is fine because I like to see the stitches on this side. So that's my process of that, okay. So but I just enjoy using, well, these scrappy bits. So I'm going to make some more covers just in different colours and stuff, so I've got them on hand because I really like my grungy bits and my grungy journals. And I've got a couple that I want to make into a themed journal, and I just could not get my head around it. I just don't know why. I've got all my pieces. I've got now I can't even remember now, a tea journal I wanted to make, and a peacock journal. You know, I've got all the pieces together, and I just didn't flow, so I just put it all away, and I did my scraps, used my scraps, and just, you know, just randomly, I just needed something to think about that was really easy and fun, so that's what I did. So yeah, so that's what I did. So I just love the outcome. So let me know your thoughts. Give it a try, you know. Yeah, and you can actually then use these as well if you wanted to for something else, but because they're nice and sturdy. And this one I'm going to be stitching around, because I'm using this for a cover. I'm going to randomly stitch it around, and I'm going to leave all the frayed bits because that's part of the journal. So that's that. And then I'll just give you a very quick sneak peek. I've actually have a spring sale on in my Etsy store. I'm going to leave the link below. It's 10% off all my stock, my current stock, and it's only going to go for 3 days, so, you know, whiz over and have a quick sticky bead. But I'll just quickly share my new listings. Just bear with me. And I've made actually a boho journal this time, Chunky Monkey, and that should be going in here. So yes, a little boho, another tab journal, very shabby, and then a denim, chunky denim journal. Love this one. So yeah, so they're my new listings, so keep an eye out for those. But my next video will be sharing this one that I've just finally finished. I've been waiting for my charms, little tree charms, it's been 2 weeks and they haven't arrived yet, so I don't know what the stories. Have to find out. But I'll be sharing this because the draw for this one is going to happen tonight. So, and this belongs to the William Baker Facebook group that my husband's involved in geology. So this will be my next video, so stay tuned for this. I'll share this one. And so here's some more of that, you know. So yeah, so stay tuned. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that quick video. You know me, I don't do tutorials. I find it really hard because I'm a very messy crafter. And maybe one day I will. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Head over to my Etsy store if you want to, you know, get into the 10% sale, spring sale. Until the next video, see you then. Bye for now.